Hi friends! So today I created this sequence for when you're feeling a little bit lethargic, when you're tired, you've had a long day at work, or you're just having one of those days when you wake up and your body feels really tired and you just need a little bit of a pick-me-up. So today we're going to go through some poses that are going to help us to rebalance and recover, giving our shoulders, our upper body, hamstring, quads a really good deep stretch, allowing us to feel re-energized and revitalized so you can start or carry on with your day, whichever option you want. So when you're ready, hop into something comfy, get your mat, and let's do this. Okay, so today we're going to start at the very back of the mat in a child's pose. So we have a couple of options. You can just come into the traditional child pose, or you can open the knees wider than the hips and come down onto your forearms, or stretch the arms all the way forward, whichever you prefer, or the more traditional child's poses with the knees together. And just bring your forehead to the mat. Close your eyes. And just breathe in and breathe out. Just take this moment to relax, to let go, to take deep breaths. And don't be shy. Exhale out with your mouth open. You can even just swing a little bit from left to right with the hips, if this feels good for you. And then from here we're just going to walk the hands over to the right side, giving the left side of our body a good stretch, making sure that both glutes remain on the heels. So we don't want to lift one glute off the heels. They're both comfortably sitting on the heels. So if this stretch is too much, you can always come a little bit closer to the center. But the important thing is that both glutes remain on the heels. And just continue your breathing, connection, your contemplation of why you're here right now, what brought you to do this practice today. And as you exhale, allow it to sink into the pose. Alright, from here, keep your eyes closed, and we're just going to walk the hands over to the other side, stretching the right side of the body. And breathe into the stretch. Visualize in your mind how your right side is stretching right now. See if you can visualize those muscles lengthening, the breath coming into your body, flowing through your blood, through your muscles, and relaxing you with every exhale. Okay, let's just walk it to center. So we're just going to extend the arms forward, and let's just continue with this contemplation of our body. And just exhale it all out. Just let it all go. Couple more breaths here. And on the next exhalation, we're just going to come into a tabletop position. Going to do a little flow, cat-cow, child's pose. So we're going to inhale, we're going to arch the back. Exhale, we're going to round, and with the hands we're going to push back into a child's pose. Inhale, come forward, arch and look up. Exhale, round and release. One more time. Inhale, come forward, arch, look up. Exhale, round the spine and release back onto the heels. Coming back to tabletop position. From here, we're just going to make sure that the hips are in line with the knees. And all we're going to do is we're just going to walk the hands forward, into a puppy pose. Now, some of you may find this quite a deep stretch in the upper part of the body, so you can always place some cushions or pillows to allow your chest to rest on, or even your forehead. But if you have good flexibility, and you can always bring your forehead all the way down to the mat. Now, this is a very deep stretch for the upper body, so don't worry if you can't bring your forehead on the mat, and if you have to use pillows or cushions, just know that flexibility is something that comes with a lot of practice and a lot of patience. We're not going to stay here long, so just what's important is wherever you're at, whichever variation you choose to do, what's important is that you feel the stretch in the shoulders and the arms, and even a little bit in the middle and lower part of the spine or the back. One more breath, and then we're just slowly going to walk it back to a neutral position, so back into a tabletop. We're going to lift and curl those toes, bringing your glutes closer to the heels, and all we're going to do is we're going to use our hands and our toes to push ourselves up into a downward dog. So this is the first dog of today, so you might want to just keep the knees bent, walk it out on the spot, allowing it to feel, allowing your heel to just drop. And if you can't reach the mat with the heels, that's okay. Dog is not about lengthening the lower body, it's about lengthening the shoulders, the back, the spine. So what's important is to have a straight spine. So if you're here, that's perfectly fine as long as your spine is straight. If you can bring the heels down, that's fine, but it's not a must. Good. From here, we're going to take an inhale. We're going to come into a plank. Then you might want to lower your knees, release the toes, lower it down. Exhale, bring your chest down. Inhale, push your hands into the mat, lift up into a cobra. And then curl your toes, and we're going to push those hips back into a downward dog. Let's walk it out quickly. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to take mini steps to the very front of the mat. So as many steps as you need. And we're just coming into a forward fold. So in forward fold, if you have very tight hamstrings, you might be up here. So if that's your case, then bring your hands in the crease of your hips. And just straighten the arms, pushing the hips backwards. This will allow the spine to decompress and elongate. However, if you have more flexibility, feel free to come as low as is comfortable for you, provided that the spine remains straight. So if it's down here, it's fine. If it's a little bit lower, it's fine too. Wherever it is, we want straight legs, and we want a straight back. And just grab your elbows with opposite hands, and just begin to gently swing the upper body by twisting the hips. We're just moving the hips left and right. That's it. And just allow your upper body, your head to be heavy. And then you can also interlace your fingers. This is optional. And open the chest. This is a really deep stretch for the pectoral muscles, so the chest or breast muscles. Now we're going to inhale, we're going to bend the knees and come up. And it's your standing cobra. So allow your hands to guide you, pushing the hips forward and slightly arching the spine. If it's comfortable, bring your head back. But again, this is only an option, so you don't have to. Let's release. Inhale, clasp the hands together. Stretch it out, shoulders down. Take an inhale, exhale, let's take it over to the left. Making sure that we're not closing, but we're actually keeping the shoulder nice and open. So all we're doing is we're just sliding. You can imagine you're sliding along a wall. Inhale, come back to center. We're just going to take it to the opposite side. Just imagine again that you're just curving along a wall. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to take a big inhale. Exhale, release all the way. Bend the knees, step it back. Let's take a flow. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, come up into a cobra. Exhale, push downward dog. Very nice. From here, we're going to step it into a low lunge. So we're just going to shift our weight to the right leg and just step it forward with the left. We're going to lower that right knee. Plant your hand on the mat. We're going to inhale and exhale to the left, twisting from the waistline. So the hips remain square and we're just twisting from the core. And if you're a bit wobbly, you can always just bring your gaze down. I tell you, some of these poses that we're doing today are so good for balance and recovery or rebalancing of the body, right? Let's bring it back to center. And from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to lift up into a low lunge. So if you're doing this class, you're going to find that it's so much better than a Red Bull or than staying in bed. If you're feeling a bit under the weather or a little bit pooped. Very nice. Now from here, we're actually going to stand up. So you're going to curl your toes and we're going to pivot the foot so that the toes are diagonal to the mat. We're going to come into a warrior two. Arms are strong and the hips is diagonal to the mat as well. If you're beginner, don't worry so much about the feet being in line. So if you need to step it out more like this, for example, to keep your balance, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it so much. What's more important is that you don't fall. From here, we're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to extended side angle. So bring your forearm over to that knee. Don't put your weight on it. We're just resting it. We're not putting all our weight. Our weight remains in the legs. So the weight is kind of 60-40 distributed. So 60% in the front leg and 40% in the back leg. Really nice. Inhale. Come back to warrior two. Going to extend that leg. And all we're going to do is we're just going to pivot. So we're going to pigeon toe the feet. Arms out to the side, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, exhale, lower. Again, keeping the spine straight. So if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. If you can go a little bit lower and grab onto your legs or your ankles, or bring your head all the way down, that's absolutely fine. Good. Now from here, we're going to come into a Skandasana. So for Skandasana, we're going to open the toes so they're pointing to the corner of the mat. And we're just going to bend the left leg and then point those toes up to the sky. You're going to feel a nice stretch all along the inner thigh, on the side of the knee, maybe some of you even in the foot. Very nice. And from here, we're going to transition into half split. So all we're going to do is we're just going to turn around. You might want to reposition your back leg a little bit. Bring that knee down. And we're going to inhale, look forward. Exhale, extend the front leg. Inhale, forward. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, push the hips back. Good. One more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, push back. And now from here, we're going to take a flow. So hands down on the mat. Lift the back leg. Step it back into a plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees. Chest, chin. Inhale, come into a full cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. and just walk it out on the spot. You're going to feel probably that one side of your body has released a little bit more than the other. Now we're going to take a big inhale, step it with the right leg in between your feet, lower the back knee. We're going to plant the left hand, inhale, exhale, come into a twist, folding from the waistline. It's a very good pose to boost our digestive system, to promote detoxification in the body. Twists are amazing for that because it really squeezes our digestive tract. Inhale, exhale, release back to center. Take an inhale, low lunge, exhale, sit, and allow that nice psoas muscle to really stretch out. Now from here we're going to release. We're going to lift that back leg and pivot the foot, coming into Warrior II. Inhale, exhale, extended side angle. Remember to not put your weight on your leg. We're just placing the arm there, but we're not putting any weight on it. Good. Inhale, come back to Warrior II. We're going to extend that front leg. Pivot the toe and pigeon feet. Pigeon toe the feet. That's right. Pigeon toe the feet. Keeping the arms straight out, shoulders straight. And exhale, just lower down. Remember keeping a straight spine, so if that's where you are, then fine. You can always just bring your hands on your thighs. Again, on the crease of your thighs, just extending the arms, pushing the hips back. Or you can come as low as is comfortable for you. Alright, so from here we're going to come into Skandasana. So we're going to open the right foot out. So the toes are pointing to the corner of the mat. Going to bend that knee and point the left toes up to the sky. Good. Just feeling that nice deep stretch in the side of the leg. And that's coming back to center. All we're going to do is we're just going to turn around, pivot that foot, lower the back leg, and we're going to take half splits again. So inhale, exhale, push the hips back. One more time. Inhale and exhale, push. Last one. Inhale forward, exhale, push. Good. And now we're going to come forward, back to center. Hands planted on the mat. Lift that back leg, step it back into a plank. Inhale, exhale, lower the knees, followed by the chest, chin. Inhale, come into a full cobra. Push your hands into the mat. Allow it to just stay here for a couple of breaths. And exhale, let's push back into downward dog. Maybe you just want to stay in a static dog here, allowing the entire body to stretch out, to release, to let go. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to shift the weight to the left leg, we're going to bend the right leg, and we're just going to bring the knee to the right thumb. You're going to feel a deep stretch in the glutes. So some of you might want to just stay right here, and that's absolutely fine. And also make sure that your back leg is along the center of the mat. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can just come onto your elbows. Now coming back up, we're going to sit on the right glute and we're going to swing the back leg forward. So we're keeping the sole of the foot on the inside of this leg, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a big inhale and exhale, just bend forward. Now, if this might be a little bit too challenging for some of you, you might want to just stay up here and just walk your hands along, or just slide your hands along your leg, as long as we're keeping the shoulders back, as if someone's pulling you back. The spine is straight because we're folding from the hips. Okay, so how far forward you come is not actually the goal. The goal is to feel the nice stretch, the nice release in the body. But if you can, and if you can bring your nose to your knee, then be my guest. One more breath. And let's release. Now from here, we're going to go back into pigeon. So this time we're just gonna bring the left leg parallel to the top of the mat, swing that back leg back, lift yourself up with your hands, reposition yourself, making sure the leg is straight along your mat. Some of you may have the heel really close to the hip. That's okay, it's not a problem. Some of you may be able to bring your leg a little bit more at 90-degree angle. So you can stay right here. If you feel a deep stretch and you think this is too much for you, or that is where you want to stay. And if not, you can also just come down onto your forearms. And if you do come onto your forearms, make sure that we're not falling on one side. It is quite important that the weight stays distributed evenly along the hips. So we're not favoring one side over the other. Just 2 more breaths here. From here, we're just going to come back up. Remember to this time sit on the left glute and swing that back leg forward. Sole of the left foot along the inside of the leg. Going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding from the hips, not the lumbar spine. See if you can come down as far as it's comfortable for you. Again, if you feel a lot of restriction, you can always just slide your hands forward and then stop whenever you start to feel a deep stretch. And just breathe into the stretch. Shoulders back, spine is straight, head is straight, looking forward. Okay, let's release. Now we're going to do one last stretch for the hips. Bring the soles of the feet together, coming into 𝐜𝐴𝐵𝐴 So you can hold onto your toes and just stay here. If this is too much, it doesn't matter how big or small the diamond shape is. You can always extend your feet forward and create a nice diamond shape with your hands and just stay here if this is better for you. If not, the closer your feet are to your body, the harder or the deeper the stretch. Straight back. And smile. Everything's easier with a smile. Final breath, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then from here, we're just going to scooch about the center of the mat, releasing down, bringing the knees to the chest. Holding onto your knees, and you can just rock from side to side if that feels good. when you're ready, coming into a Savasana, so extending the legs out to the side, arms along the side of your body, coming back to that idea at the beginning of the class of contemplating, of letting go, of breathing it out. Maybe you want to connect to your senses. So what can you hear right now? What can you feel? How do you feel? Physically, how does your body feel? Mentally? And you can compare that feeling to the beginning of the class. Now you can stay here for as long as you want. You can just pause the video, but if you need to get on with your day, let's just close the practice together. So it's begin to gently move your fingers and toes. Maybe you want to make a fist with your hands and then spread your fingers out. Bring the soles of the feet in the center of the mat, so bending the knees. We're going to roll over to the right side into fetal position. And then coming up into a seated position in the center of the mat. Let's just take a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Have palms together. Bring them, exhale, bring them to heart center. Bowing down to yourself for today's practice. I hope you feel more energized, more revitalized. I hope you enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see you again. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.